Hey everyone, it's time for another GunPla review. We're going to hit some Zeon units for a little while now because I just feel like Zeon's kind of been left out of my review pile. Yeah, just take a look at all my reviews. They're almost all exclusively Federation. I don't know how that happened, it just kind of happened. So, for the time being, we're going to take a look at the MS-14F Gelgoog Marine. Best known pilot of this, of course, is Sima Garahau from Gundam 0083. But the units were one-year war units produced near the end as Special Forces machines in order to help hold back the Federation before they ended up, storming all of space. As I love to point out, this is a gold number era box, so we have a little bit of that going down here. So it's going to have some stuff that didn't quite age super well. Here he is. He's big, he's green, he's mean. It's the Incredible Hulk. I mean, Gelgoog Marine. Oh, damn. Okay. We'll get to that. The Gelgoog Marine is here. Let's adjust his positioning in the camera, shall we? Overall, it's a good-looking suit. Got quite a bit of detailing here, especially when you get around the back. You get all these little verniers all over it that were a pain to actually plug in. Plus these cool little fuel tanks, more verniers, and they even have little, you can see it there, boosters right inside the legs that, yes, can move. So that's extra little detail there that I really do like. Of course, it's that cool green color, kind of makes it look like a Zaku got on steroids. And of course, that great cool head mohawk fin kind of thing there as well. And yeah, I gave it the beam saber initially. We'll get to why in a little bit. So before we really get on much further, let's of course do the flexibility test. It's always the way to go. We'll begin with feet. Our feet kind of wiggle back and forth, up, down, quite a bit on this up and down kind of thing. They were kind of difficult to plug in just because it's kind of a weirder joint than normal. There is no skirt movement here, which really limits the legs and what they can do. So you can kind of get up like that. Not super great, but it's more of a limitation of the skirt. Obviously, you can't... The score just went down a point. Okay, jokes aside. Oh, by the way, we also have more burners back here as well. So see those there for detailing. So yeah, it doesn't really go all that far back because of the skirt as well. If we actually put forward like this. You know, one of my pet peeves is legs that won't stay inside the unit. I originally wanted to give this thing a really high 4-point score, and these legs are making me really, really reconsider that. I have so much positive to say about this guy, but the legs are, you know what, give me a minute, I'm going to put these back together. And we're back. I want to bring up one quick thing about the legs before we finish the flexibility test, which is that this is the first time I've ever had that issue, but I will point out, hopefully they won't fall out this time, that the joint does feel really, really loose for the leg, which isn't particularly good with a big guy like this when you have a lot of weight you're dealing with. But we'll continue the rest. At the hip point, it has a very, very little. You can't really take the leg up much far. Not only do you have the skirt's in the way, but also the way it's hinged in. At the waist, we do have some turning, a little bit of back and forward, not much there, you can tell. Let's go to the backpack. The fuel tanks do jiggle a little bit, not sure if they're supposed to, but they do, so I'll bring it up. None of the verniers actually move on this. We're going to get to the head next. Head has, oops, no back and forward. You get a little bit of left, a little bit of right. Between the head fin thing here and the little edges on the sides here, there's not a lot of head movement options. But, you know, I don't know how much you need to turn things. Also of note, the sticker in here is on a standard point. See if we can get it right there in the shot. On a little standard point. So unfortunately, the mono eye will always just go wherever the head goes. Unlike some of the more recent Zaku's and stuff, where the mono eye is on its own little part that you can shift and adjust if you want a unique kind of eye looking out of a different direction than the head is facing. As for the arms, shoot, shoulder fell off. As you can see, the shoulder parts aren't really fully connected into the arm, so you just kind of snap them on, and they do have a tendency to kind of wiggle around and fall off, which isn't great. Because of the shoulder armor, you only have so much limitation with... Fell off again. How far the arm can go. If you have no shoulder armor, of course, you get a lot more movement of that. As for the turning up and down, you can technically go 360, but that armor's not going to stay on, because as I showed you before, the armor is a bit loose. It looks cool when it's standing, but if you're going to be doing certain positionings, it can be an issue. The arm is almost double jointed. Look how far back that goes on the elbow. That is crazy. Gets a good amount of there. Hand can 360. So the arms actually are really, really good. The shoulder armor, unfortunately, like I said, gets a little bit loose. But it does provide you with quite a few options for combat poses for the hands. And he stands really, really well, as you can see, even despite the fact that, you know, there's some issues with the knees. The other thing I'd also point out is I would really recommend in the building process, or if they ever fall off, just get some glue tack in those knee joints in order to help it stick together and look a lot better. So, alright, we've broken that down. Let's take a look at what extra parts we get. We have spare open hand for the left side, in case you want it, you know, out for any other reasons you would want it out instead of the shield. We actually get 2 pre-molded beam sabers. Yes, the handle's the same as the blade itself, although better than the ones that actually come with the pre-molded hand. These aren't great. However, you can easily paint the handle. And the reason, of course, I equipped him with the beam saber is to show that when held in the hand, it blends in just enough in order to allow, you know, it could go by without painting. However, I do intend to paint mine, probably trying to match the green color of the unit. I believe they're supposed to be stored inside the hips, so they could technically be any color, but I like them being, you know, matching in the green motif of the suit. Last but not least is the MMP-80, the mobile suit machine pistol. This one does not have the grenade launcher, though you can see there's actually a little nub here where the grenade launcher could hook up, which I do really appreciate that. Looks pretty good, and it has its own trigger finger plugged in there nicely. So we're going to swap him up. Blink. Blink. And now he has the cool gun. It is the machine gun utilized by several later war units, including the Zaku FZ, aka the Zaku Kai. It looks pretty cool. I do like this gun. On the other hand, we have the knuckle shield. I like the knuckle shield and I hate the knuckle shield. One, I have a preference for the Gelgoog standard shield, but I do like the spiky part here. And as part of like the universal maintenance plan, it would kind of make sense to have something like this. Also, it plugs in there on the thicker part of the arm, so it actually holds in position really nicely. I do like that. I do wish it had a connector thing here for a Sturmfaust, just because it feels like if you're going to be, you know, kind of a special forces suit, you may as well have an explosive weapon in your arsenal. But even without it, you're still looking pretty cool, pretty intimidating. And that's the thing about this suit is, despite the leg issues, there are very few other problems I had with this build. Clicking the legs into the center part here is difficult just because the skirts have no movement, and clicking in the ankle part is a little awkward too just because of the kind of joint it is. But outside of that, I had no problems building this. All the little verniers gets a little annoying, but it's not difficult by any means. There are only 2 stickers for this entire unit. The first is, of course, the mono eye, and the second is the black section behind the mono eye. Normally that would be green. The sticker makes it black. I actually did use both stickers on this build. In retrospect, I kind of wish I had painted that section and then added the gold mono eye, because for some reason when you do sticker on sticker, it never quite positions as easily as you think it would, while sticker on paint is no big deal. So I think for any further Gelgoog builds or any other unit that uses the two-sticker methodology for the mono eye, I'm just going to do painting from now on. But it's good for this review to kind of show you what it looks like without doing the paint job. Overall, I really, really like this unit. Its color scheme is pretty awesome. Its weapon loadout is decent enough, and the fact that it has a beam saber that's at least a standard blade that I can pull out of the hands if necessary, paint and modify with very little trouble, is a wonderful asset. The knuckle shield helps separate it from your standard Gelgoog, and the MMP-80 is a pretty cool looking gun in and of itself that really adds to that intimidation factor. Now if you're thinking about the size and how it compares, well, I said it was a Zaku on steroids, and I mean it. Okay. But here they are, side by side, the standard Zaku and the Gelgoog Marine, and you can see there is definitely a height difference there. There's definitely a bulky difference. So it really does tower over. It does feel like a pretty awesome suit. However, despite the fact that there is a command version of the Gelgoog Marine, this kit does not come with an alternate head to be a commander version. So unfortunately, if you really wanted it to be SEMA with the command fin, you're not really going to have that option. Other than that, though, it is a really great kit. It's a fun build, pretty quick build. I kind of took my time as usual, but I still really, really enjoyed it. I just kind of built it during a rainy day and had a lot of fun. I really liked this suit, and even though I have issues with some of the minor problems, and that's essentially what keeps it away from being a 5, I do think it's a great suit that is a fun build, it looks cool, it'll be a great addition to your army, and it really stands out being a larger suit that kept the, kind of green coloration usually associated with Zaku's. Albeit a darker green coloration, but a green coloration nonetheless. If you are building a Zeon army, I would really, really recommend the Gelgoog Marine. It's really awesome. It's one of my favorite Zeon suits, which is why I had to review it. And despite all its flaws, I can't hate on this unit. It's just that great. I hope this has helped your GunPla purchasing decision. In the comments, let me know what your favorite Gelgoog type is. And of course, if you could like and subscribe, that would be wonderful. It only takes a few seconds for you, but really helps small channels like mine. Until next time, thank you for watching, and remember, I'll see you at the tavern.